I'm Harry.
I'm Richard.
Welcome to Dead Decks.
Dead Decks. Yeah, buddy. It's almost falling our ass.
You didn't see that part. You got cut out.
Leave that shit in.
So what are we talking about today?
We're talking about the Scrye Collectible Card Game Checklist and Price Guide. It's a long damn name.
Omnibus.
Omnibus.
I like that word. I'm going to use it.
It's on the bus.
I'm going to be on the bus.
This is anybody that doesn't know about this and bothers watching us and likes these kind of things, you need to know that this exists. Yeah, all 3.5 of you. This exists. And if you like this stuff, buy it.
Yeah, it's a great resource for almost, well, in this case, every card game that was made up until about 2002-ish, give or take.
Yep.
And many of the card games, we were just thumbing through this before we started this video up, and there's many that caught me by surprise I've never even heard of that's in this. So if you're, and it's got a lot of in-depth information, including checklists for every game that's in this book. Price guides, which are irrelevant but funny to go back and look at nowadays. We'll get into that here in a few minutes on some of the. I want to show you all some of the Magic prices because I find them to be hilarious. If you were buying this shit 20 years ago, the amount of money you could have today is insane. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, one of the first things up front that is freaking awesome. I guess we'll have a picture up here, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to put a picture up there. You don't have to look at our ugly faces the whole video.
A CCG identification guide is badass because it has front and card backs for just about everything. And then that's in full color. And it also shows you a year it came out and sets made. It's really good. And it's pretty thorough, pretty complete.
Yeah, and just for, if it was that alone, it'd be pretty damn cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a bigger version of that with more card examples. But
is that in alphabetical order? I believe it is, yes.
Yes, it is, yeah. Yep, and it's got some stuff that we hadn't even heard of.
Yeah.
A couple.
You know there's a game called Boy Crazy? I shouldn't be intrigued by that, but I am.
Nobody gives a shit about Boy Crazy. There's quite a few in here nobody gives a shit about.
Oh yeah,
including ones we probably like.
Yeah. And you'll see some of the ones later on our channel, and some we've already shown.
And last I looked, these are relatively cheap, by the way. $10-15 gets you a used copy, I believe. So, and it looks like a damn encyclopedia.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad deal at all.
Dude.
It's fantastic for that price. I'd pay double that easy. So yeah, and then going into what's. Oh, do you want to talk about another thing up front?
Yeah, there's a little blurb up front, and this is the first edition copy here. I said I wasn't going to show a fucking picture of shit on camera, but here I am fucking doing it anyway. So too fucking bad. Fuck that. Anyway, this was put out in 2001, and it talks about grading CCG cards. I just want to read this little blurb here. It says, what is certification and does it affect the prices of CCG cards? And this is referencing PSA, BGS, and the card grading companies that people know today. Card grading's been around since the mid-90s, and initially it was for sports cards. Nobody really graded collectible card games back then. But they said a definite no to the second question as to if it affects the price of CCGs. And another section over here says, let's see, where is that? But against all previous experience with sports cards, when Pokemon CCG cards were sent in and graded by sports card standards, almost every card was graded a perfect 10 gem mint or something like that, unlike sports cards. CCG cards are meant to be shuffled and tend to be made of sterner stuff, blah, 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 blah. So grading certification of a CCG card has turned out, at least so far, to be a bust. Now, here we are in 2021, where there's Pokemon cards that were just a couple years prior to this publishing. They're selling for mid six figures. We're talking $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 in PSA 10s. So it goes to show you how much things can change in a relatively short amount of time, and how important the grading ecosystem has become to all card games and, of course, sports cards as well. We'll get into grading at another time. I just wanted to throw that out because it floored me that they didn't recommend buying, selling, or even getting cards graded back in the day. And if you had done that back in 2001 and kept on to that shit, you'd have been a millionaire today.
Yeah. When it was dirt cheap, you could have graded every damn thing. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You'd have killed it.
It'd probably been $2 or $3 a card back then to grade shit.
Yeah.
And if they're all coming back 10s, whoo boy.
Yeah. Yep. That is pretty damn funny. Way off.
Yeah.
So in general, I figure we just skim what the kind of things you're gonna see. Maybe we'll put up another picture. Magic. So in an article they'll have they got some ratings which are I mean most of the time at least they're descriptions of the games I agree with for the things we're familiar with. But ratings I don't know. Those are pretty damn subjective. Concept, gameplay, card art, player pool. Those are the 4 categories.
Player pool is probably the only one that would probably have some of an objective status to it because it would have been probably relatively easy to figure out back then, how many people were playing this game in a relative sense. I mean, it didn't have to be perfect anyway. Just straight popularity. Magic's a 5. This one we just showed. I'm probably going to show that one, so I won't even mention it.
Yeah,
probably another game.
Yeah, the problem now, of course, is it's 20 years ago, so
right.
Don't mean shit.
Doesn't
now.
mean anything now, obviously.
And like this, couple of these games, looking at one that says came out in 2000. Well, okay, is it 2002? Then yeah, there might have been a little player pool.
Yeah.
2020? No. Nobody remembers this shit.
Nope. Just us.
Yeah.
Here we are. 2021, talking about old dead cardboard or fucking trees.
Gives a fuck about.
Or us.
Yeah. We don't even give a fuck about us.
Nah. Meh.
Meh. So, she's pointing to meh and don't even... Oh, you do have meh.
I have meh.
It tells you, like, identifiers on the cards, which is cool. Release date. I love the descriptions, because even online these days, that's not easy to find.
And we were just talking about how hard it is to find some of these games and any details on them. You would think the internet is just one big treasure trove of information, but I think it's getting to a point now that it's so convoluted it's hard to find some stuff because there is so much stuff out there.
Yeah.
The search engines have kind of failed us in this regard.
Yeah, and some of this shit, before the internet was real big, is out. A lot of it, so it never made a presence, and then it fizzled out like a fart in a car, and never really got out there.
Yeah.
Even Board Game Geek, for some of this stuff, you can't find shit.
Mm-mm.
So. And
there's no, you might find an old forum somewhere that has a couple posts about something, or an old website, Geocities Angel Fire, motherfuckers from 1996. You know, they don't load right because they were built. God, what ancient language was that built in? Greek?
I don't even know yet. Hebrew
Latin,
web programming language. So some of the things on here is funny, like the number of pages you'll need in a non-pocket sleeve to house the whole set. I'm not sure that's particularly useful, but full card checklist with rarity and pricing is really just funny.
Yeah, well, I'm going to talk about some of the Magic card pricing here in a minute, just because it's so absurd, especially if you follow any of this shit.
Some of these sets have a card type listed, and that is awesome.
Yeah.
Tremendous reference. A couple that we've talked about that are in here. Flight's Fantasy's one I would definitely agree with, except for the card art. They ranked 4 out of 5.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
Fat Sean Bean, maybe. I guess that's why they got 4 out of 5 because of Fat Sean Bean.
Applying the same logic they did to Halborn Gates, it really should be much lower because the artist might be good, but the art on those cards, no.
No, it was so washed out. It kills the immersion for me. I fucking hated it. I hate everything about that game except for Fat Sean Bean.
Yeah, most of the things this is Flight's Fantasy's example of them normally with them. That says it's generally not credited as being the second CCG. It's very loosely even defined as one at all. And it looks like the game was grafted on. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, this is art cards with some numbers thrown on the back as an afterthought.
I think this book is how we found out that One-on-One Hockey Challenge even had an expansion. Because as they said in here, only one of the readers of their first edition even knew and told them about it.
Yeah.
Now we've been able to find a few out there, but
it's still pretty limited. Imagine that we're talking about hockey again.
Yeah, hockey.
Just then when you think we're done with it.
Nope. Since we know nobody gives a fuck, we're going to keep bringing it up.
Yep.
WCW Nitro is another one. Just another example of one we reviewed that pretty much agree with them. They gave it good ranks on just about everything but player pool. So it was a pretty solid game. It just suffered because of the property that WCW phased out not too long after this.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, good reviews. Stuff you're not going to find.
Yeah.
Even the internet's not going to tell you a lot of these things.
Yeah, especially the objective parts where they talk about just the, how many cards are in the set, the rarity type, all that good shit.
Yep.
The little blurbs they write about it, it's good stuff. Somebody put a lot of effort into this, which I'm glad they did. It's nice to have that 20 years later.
Oh, yeah.
But I just wanted to, it's just pretty funny. I'm sure I'm looking at we'll throw it up probably. If not, then
we'll just throw up.
Fat faces. I'm looking at Magic the Gathering Alpha, and concept they give it a 5, gameplay they give it a 5, player pool they give it a 5, and card art they give it a 3, which I find odd because, hey, it's the first one, and Alpha has some really cool looking fucking cards. Now, hindsight, all that, blah blah blah. Maybe it's more iconic now, but I still think, for being the first game ever, the artwork on it was fantastic. Anyway, I just want to mention some of the prices that are in this price guide. So, for example, an Ancestral Recall Alpha, $200 fucking dollars. Get the fuck out. Black Lotus Alpha, $437.50. Get the fuck out. And they don't want you to grade this shit back then either, because it's a waste of time, waste of money, and it wasn't worth anything. PSA 10 Black Lotus Alpha, you're probably talking $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. So,
oh, Jesus.
Yeah. There was another one I want to look. I was looking at. Where the fuck was it? It was Arabian Nights. I had a dog ear. There it is. Arabian Nights, Bazaar Baghdad, $18 fucking dollars. That's a $2,000 card now. High grade, higher than that. City of Brass, which was reprinted in Chronicles, is worth more than Bazaar Baghdad here at $25. Diamond Valley, which is nowhere nearly as good as Bazaar Baghdad, $60. Let's see, Library of Alexandria, which is also a really good card, and that's a $4,000 or $5,000 card now. $100, $100 fucking dollars.
Been a hell of an investment.
Yeah. So if you got in at this time at these prices, you've done quite well for yourself.
Yep.
And let's look at some fallen empires. Nope. Even back in 2001, 2002, fallen empires wasn't worth shit, just like today.
Hey, they were accurate.
Yeah. Some things hold up.
Yeah. I flipped through this thing like a book. I'm reading while I'm supposed to be doing a video.
Yeah. It's highly entertaining stuff. Right? It's a great content if you're into card games at all, even if you're only into the big three. I think Pokemon's in here somewhere.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
I don't know if Yu-Gi-Oh made the cut.
Who fucking cares about Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh can suck the dick.
I'm sure it can. It's here.
It's there.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
We like our old dead card games that nobody gives a fuck about.
Yeah.
It keeps track with our view count.
Yeah. That's what keeps us so popular.
Yeah. Even though I'm going to tag this with Magic the Gathering, so at least two extra people fucking watch this video. Yeah, but you're not going to make it this far, so you'll never know that I mentioned this. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Off.
Yeah. Fuck off.
How do we do then?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.